And welcome in to the Courtyard by Marriott broadcast booth. Solomon Bates makes his warm-up tosses here this evening as he gets ready to face a red-hot Everett AquaSox lineup. And for Bates, in 17 ball games, a 3.95 earned run average, 32 strikeouts in 27 1/3 innings. And he actually faced Everett just a few nights ago on Wednesday, and he threw a perfect inning, including a couple of strikeouts. And so you might hear some barking from the crowd mic tonight. It's Dog Day here at the ballpark, presented by Sweet Cheeks Winery. Everybody got their pooch pass with the proceeds, of course, going to Green Hill Humane Society. Let's get you the defense behind Solomon Bates. In left field, Heath Quinn. In center field, it's Brett Auerbach, who, as we mentioned, making his first start in the outfield since joining the Emeralds. He was behind the plate just last night. It'll be Franklin Labor back in right field. Sean Roby over at third. Tyler Fitzgerald, who's been excellent defensively this year. Fitzgerald, just 2 errors in 161 chances, with spending most of his time at second, sometime at third. Occasionally he's been a shortstop, obviously seen a lot more time over there after Will Wilson was promoted. Aldretti's over at second base, Tyler Flores at first, and Ricardo Genovese is behind the dish. So leading things off for Everett, Zach DeLoach. DeLoach had the night off last night, and then Everett went on to win 8-2. DeLoach had a 23-game streak of reaching base, but on Thursday, he went 0 for 6 with a couple of strikeouts. So had Friday off, and now he's back in the leadoff spot. So Solomon Bates into his motion, and the first pitch tonight hit out towards center field. Auerbach will get tested right out of the gates, and he makes a lunging grab going down to his belly for out number 1. Well, they stick you out in the center field, and what else would happen? The very first pitch of the game, a play where he had to move to his left and towards right center field, and he makes the grab, 1 away. So we get underway at 7:09 tonight. And the first pitch temperature, it's a warm one, 87 degrees. Bates delivers home, and this one fouled off to the right, and that'll get out of play. So 0-1 the count here to Patrick Frick. Frick comes in with a batting average at .309. And his OPS, .899. And he goes after this one and hits it far and deep to left. And it's off the Bi-Mart sign for a solo blast. So it's 1-0. And the AquaSox, who hit 3 home runs in last night's game, another dinger here in the top of the first inning, 1-0 Frogs. So here's Austin Shenton. Shenton has faced Bates a couple of times. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Goes after the first pitch, squibs it foul over towards his own dugout on the third base side. 0-1 the count. This one comes in and it hits him. So Shenton will take his base. So the AquaSox with a man aboard, already leading by a run here in the top of the first inning, and the batter will be Caden Polkovich. I mentioned during the starting lineups, this was actually supposed to be Carter Binn's spot in the lineup. But just about 6:40, maybe 6:35, we got word that Binns was being lifted from the starting lineup. Speculation that he might be getting called up to Double-A. First pitch to Polkovich in for a called strike. So Bates has started each of the first 4 hitters with a strike to this point. Bates comes home, and a breaking ball swung on and missed. So it's 0-2. 1 on, 1 out. 1-0 Everett. Polkovich hitting .264, getting on base at a .405 clip. Bates out of the stretch. Comes set, a pause, and now to the plate. Try to get him to chase that slow 75-mile-an-hour curveball again, but Polkovich wouldn't go fishing, and the count, a ball and 2 strikes. For Bates, the home run off the bat of Frick, the 4th he has allowed this year. 1-2 pitch, a fastball at 90 miles an hour, bends him back. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bates a look over his shoulder towards the runner at first. Shenton does have 1 stolen base this year as the 2-2 pitch misses up and away. So the count is now full after Bates had jumped ahead 0-2. Wind blowing out to right center field. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's lined the opposite way into left for a single. Heath Quinn will come over to it, and Shenton will just advance 90 feet to second. But homer, a hit by pitch, and now a single. 2 on and 1 out, and here comes Tyler Keenan. Keenan playing in his first game since the end of June. And he was hot in June. He had a rough start to the season, hitting just .163 for the month of May. But he hit .308 in June before going on the shelf for a while. He was a 4th-round pick last year out of Ole Miss. Getting his first professional experience this year. First pitch, change up, in for a called strike. Keenan overall, 15 hits and 69 at-bats. It's a .217 average. Here's the 0-1. Tried to check his swing, but clearly went around, and it's 0-2. Well, after the shortened collegiate season in 2020, Keenan was named by D1 Baseball's power rankings as the top 3rd baseman in the country. Here's the 0-2. Had him out in front of that changeup, but he just got a piece of it. And so Keenan stays alive. Shenton, the runner at second. Polkovich over at first. Bates looking for a ground ball. This is now the 4th night in a row that the Emeralds have fallen behind early. The 3rd time in 4 nights that Everett has struck in the first inning. Here's the 0-2, and it misses up and away. So Keenan in his first at-bat in a week and a half, and they tag him with the beer batter moniker as the 1-2 pitch just misses. Bates thought he had him. Another changeup, trying to carve the outside corner at the knees to the left-handed hitting Tyler Keenan. Bates a look towards second, the 2-2. And this lifted out of play, off to the left. Jack Larson on deck. Keenan in 17 games at Ole Miss as a junior before COVID shut down the season was hitting .403 with 7 homers, and he had 33 RBIs. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat into center field, and that's going to fall in front of Auerbach. The runners both had to hold to see if that ball would get down, so they only advance 1 base, but now they are loaded up And here comes Jack Larson. So Larson enters with a 289 average. Although his average has been dropping as the weather has warmed up. Larson hit 337 in May, 276 in June, and so far here in July, just 5 for 28. That's a 179 average. So the Emeralds play the infield back, save for the third baseman Roby, who's even with the bag. And the first pitch, a fastball in for a called strike. So even with a run in and the bases loaded, Bates continues to get strike one. He's done it to each of the first 6 hitters. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That misses outside. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Bates looking for a ground ball. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's driven the other way, and that'll get down for a hit, and it'll get past Quinn all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. A second run scores. They will hold up Keenan at third. A 2-run double for Jack Larson, and the AquaSox have a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. So 5 consecutive AquaSox have reached base. A solo homer for Frick. Shenton was hit by a pitch. Then 2 singles and a double now. For Larson, he has RBIs number 36 and 37. So now the left side of the infield will be drawn in, while the second baseman Aldretti and the first baseman Flores stay back. First pitch changeup in the dirt. Bates laboring here in the first inning. The 1-0 delivery. And it misses up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Cade Marlowe has a .407 on base percentage. Check swing, and the pitch misses. A fastball at 90 miles an hour, and it's now 3 balls and no strikes. As we mentioned it, Bates being used as the opener here, normally a relief pitcher. Nick Avila will be coming in eventually, but no one's warming in the pen right now as the 3-0 pitch over the outside corner for a called strike. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Cade Marlowe waits on the pitch, and the 3-1 in for a called strike. Marlowe had already tossed his bat over towards the third base dugout, so he'll have to go retrieve it, and the count is full. So Bates could certainly use a strikeout here with the runner on third and just 1 out. 3 runs already in here for the Sox. Bates comes set, and the pitch. This one blooped out towards left field. Does Quinn see it? Nope, he's going to come in and play it on a few bounces. 2 more runs are going to come in to score, and it's going to turn into a double for Cade Marlowe. It's 5-0 Everett here in the top of the first inning. So now a trip to the mound from Ricardo Genovese. And Solomon Bates just trying to get out of this top of the first inning. Still only one out. So that's now 6 batters in a row to reach base. So here's Jake Anchia. He was the late addition to the lineup. Runner on second, one away. And the pitch, this one hit out towards left. Quinn will go back, and it's over his head. It one-hops the wall. Another run's going to come in to score. It's 3 doubles in a row, and it's 6-0 Everett. Well, it's kind of been the week that we have seen here from the AquaSox. This, though, their biggest inning to date, as they put up a 6 spot, and there's still just one out. So here's the number 9 hitter, Connor Hoover. Hoover stands in from the left side. Hitting 183 for the season. Bates comes set. And delivers to the plate. A fastball, 92 over the outside corner for a called strike. AquaSox looking to make it 4 in a row against the Emeralds. The 0-1 pitch. Misses outside. Another fastball, and the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on and 1 out. For Solomon Bates, this pitch will be number 31, and it's a swing and a miss. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Six runs on 6 hits in addition to a hit batter. The 1-2 runs inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now there is a right-hander warming in the pen for Eugene. And it looks like that is Nick Avila. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So down goes Hoover, out number 2 in the inning. And the AquaSox have batted around. Here comes the leadoff man, Zach DeLoach, who until that strikeout had been the only out of the game so far, when he flied out to center on the very first pitch of this ball game. DeLoach entered with the .897 OPS. And he takes a called strike here. DeLoach, a second-round pick last year out of Texas A&M. Mentioned that Keenan had hit .403 to start that season. The 0-1 over the outside corner, and it's 0-2 in the college shortened season in 2020. DeLoach had played in 18 games, and he was hitting .421 for the Aggies. Here's the 0-2. Little roller off the plate, foul towards the Emeralds dugout. So the count remains 0-2. A runner on second, Jake Anchia. He hit one of 3 consecutive doubles. 6 runs in here in the inning. And the 0-2 fastball misses up. So a ball and 2 strikes. Well, in Double-A, the Richmond Flying Squirrels had a 7-5 win today as the 1-2 pitch fouled straight back to the net. So we'll do it all over again. Richmond had a number of recent Emeralds in the lineup. Brandon Martirano, Diego Rincones, he had a hit. Will Wilson collected a base hit, his third since being called up. Solomon Bates, a look back towards second. Now the 1-2 on its way. Fastball too high. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bates, this next pitch. It's going to be number 40 in this first inning. Here's the 2-2. Out in front of it, hits it out towards right field off the end of the bat. Labor comes in, and he'll make the grab for the final out here in the top of the first inning. But not before the Everett AquaSox have 7 hitters in a row reach base, a solo homer, a hit batter, 2 singles, and then 3 doubles. They score a touchdown here in the top of the first inning. The Emeralds will be coming to bat when we return after these messages here on the Emeralds Radio Network, 95.3 The Score. And welcome back to PK Park. Bottom of the first inning, and the Emeralds have their work cut out for them, as the AquaSox put up 6 runs in the top of the first inning. And on top of that, they've got a top pitcher, the number 4 prospect in the Seattle system, George Kirby, big right-hander out of Elon University. 2019 for the Phoenix of Elon University. He had 14 starts. His record 8-2 with a 2.75 ERA. He also had 3 complete games in his junior season. So far this year, he's made 7 starts in 31 2/3 innings, a 2.84 earned run average, 39 strikeouts, and again has shown his good control, just 7 walks allowed. So Brett Auerbach will lead things off. Auerbach playing center field tonight. And he also jumps up from the 2-hole into the leadoff spot as Munguia gets the night off. Auerbach hitting .280 in 7 ball games, 7 hits and 25 at-bats since joining the Emeralds. He's had a couple of stellar games here in this series to this point, as the first pitch misses up and in. He's 6 for 16 so far against the AquaSox. And he had a heck of a game on Tuesday night in the series opener. The 1-0 pitch in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Auerbach in his first game here at PK Park had 3 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, and he drove in 6. 1-1 pitch. That's over the outside corner. Called strike. That one registered at 99 miles an hour on the radar gun. I had read in the prospect report that Kirby could touch 98. Maybe they need to update it. The 1-2. Slider down and away. Misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. After Auerbach, it'll be Tyler Fitzgerald and then Armani Smith. Here's the 2-2. And that pitch misses up and in. Again, 99 on the radar gun. But the count is full here to the leadoff man in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes the payoff pitch from Kirby. Called, 3rd strike. 98 painted on the outside corner at the knees. So 1 away, and here's Tyler Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, a .433 slugging percentage. He's got 12 doubles, 7 homers, in 54 games here with the M's. Nick Avila continues to warm in the bullpen down the right side, so presumably we'll see him for the second inning. Swing and a miss here by Fitzgerald, 0-1. Kirby listed 6'4", 205 pounds. The 0-1. Breaking ball misses down and away. So the 1-1 pitch, pretty important here for Tyler Fitzgerald. He hits .333 when he's ahead in the count. Here's the 1-1, and he hits that ball to left field. And tracking it is Connor Hoover. Tough sun field this time of night, but Hoover able to hang with it, and he makes the grab for out number 2. So here comes Armani Smith. Smith, 21 hits and 75 at-bats with the M's. This is the 21st game that he's played since coming up from San Jose. George Kirby into his motion. And the first pitch slider misses low. Kirby's got a lot to live up to here. The last couple of starters, Tim Elliott last night and the night before, Levi Stout, each went 8 innings. The 1-0 pitch, that's up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Again, 99 on the fastball. Bases empty, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. The AquaSox blitz the Emeralds with a 6 spot in the top half of the first inning. Here's the 2-0. Smith checks his swing. They'll appeal. No swing, says Steven Rios Jr., and the count is now 3-0. Pitch on its way, and taking all the way, Smith watches that fastball over the outer half for a called strike. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. So now the count is full here to Smith. Here comes the payoff pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Another fastball at 99 miles an hour for Everett's big right-hander, George Kirby. He strikes out a pair. It's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first, and it's 6-0 AquaSox as we move along to the second inning after a break here on the M's Radio Network, 95.3 The Score. Top of the second inning, AquaSox out to the big early lead, 6-0 Frogs, and the Emeralds have gone to the bullpen. That was the plan one time through the order for Solomon Bates. And so Nick Avila will come in. Avila has been pitching this piggyback off of the opener for the last 5 times out. He has gone at least 5 innings in 4 out of those 5 times. He's gone as far as a 6-inning stretch. That was his best outing of the year. 6 scoreless innings against Hillsborough. Overall, a 6.59 ERA. 42 1/3 innings pitched with 37 strikeouts and 13 walks. Number 2 hitter, Patrick Frick, will lead things off. AquaSox sent 10 batters to the plate in that first inning, and they scored 6 runs on 6 hits, including Patrick Frick, who opened the scoring by nearly doinking one off of the scoreboard. For Frick, it was his 5th homer of the year. Avila, his first pitch, slapped foul off to the right. Oh, and 1 the count. Avila, 26th round pick 2 years ago out of Long Beach State. Here's the 0-1. And in for a called strike. The way Geneves had trouble catching that one, almost looked like he crossed him up. 0-2 the count here. Avila to the plate. And a little tapper might have broken his bat. Behind the bag at second. Getting to it is Aldretti and gets rid of it quickly. 4-3 on the putout. So a nice play by the Emerald second baseman, Carter Aldretti. Remember, folks, Newport has something for everyone. Scenic excursions, world-class aquarium, historical museums, and lighthouse tours are just the beginning. Newport, the edge of a continent, the start of an adventure. So here's big Austin Shenton. He was hit by pitch his first time up. Here he looks at a fastball 93 off the plate away. Avila, originally from Modesto, California. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In for a called strike. Of course, the Modesto Nuts are the low A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And speaking of the old California League, the San Jose Giants currently taking on the Fresno Grizzlies. It used to be a AAA squad until the reshuffling this past year. San Jose is trailing 4-0, even though they had a big league rehabber start for them today on the mound. Here's a bouncing ball to first. Getting to it is Flores. Long toss to Avila covering. And it works out perfectly for out number 2. Aaron Sanchez was making a rehab start for the San Jose Giants. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits. So 2 down here at the top of the second. 6-0 AquaSox. Caden Polkovich, the hitter, he singled as part of that rally in the first. Here's a pop-up into shallow left field. Keith Quinn coming in. Instead, it's Fitzgerald going out. A high backhanded grab. A fine play by the Emerald shortstop ends the top of the second inning. So Avila comes in, and it's 1-2-3. Through 1.5, the AquaSox 6, the Emeralds nothing. But they're coming to bat here in the bottom of the second. It'll be Roby, Genovese, and Labor when we return here on 95-3, the score. Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning. 6-0. The AquaSox are out in front. And the Emeralds will lead things off with Sean Roby once George Kirby is finished with his warm-up tosses. Well, the Giants had a big win this afternoon over the Washington Nationals. Joey Bart made his return to the big leagues. Collected a couple of hits, both of them off of the veteran lefty John Lester. He was 2 for 5 with a ribby overall. But the Giants taking the first 2 games of the series wasn't the whole story, as Willie Ross, the father of longtime big league pitchers Tyson and Joe Ross. Of course, Joe Ross was a good Emerald back in 2012 when the Emeralds had the best record in the whole Northwest League. Well, Willie Ross actually saved someone's life at the ball game down at Oracle Park in San Francisco. Here's George Kirby, fastball, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to Sean Roby. Willie Ross was enjoying the ball game, noticed somebody a few rows away choking, and immediately sprang into action and performed the Heimlich maneuver. And it worked like a charm. The 0-1 pitch fouled away at the plate, 0-2. And a lady, the EMTs and medics came down, and she was fine. Willie Ross is actually a pediatrician at Stanford Hospital. So what a story at the ballgame. Goes to see his son, Joe Ross, with the Nationals, and ends up saving someone down at Oracle Park. 0-2 the count here as Roby leads things off. And Kirby comes high and tight, 99. That's the definition of chin music. Roby, though, barely batted an eye, just kind of bent back a little bit. And the count 1-2. We'll see if Kirby backs that up with something down and away. That's how the catcher is setting up. And the 1-2 pitch. Roby yanks it down the left field line, and it's off the wall. He's going to dig for 2, and he is in there. His 5th extra base hit of the last 4 ball games. He has 3 doubles and 2 homers. He sniffs 99 right under his nostrils and then turns around the next fastball for a 2-bagger to start things off here in the bottom of the 2nd. 109 miles an hour off the bat. So that was an impressive AB for Sean Roby, who's been hitting very well here all week long against good pitching from the AquaSox. So here's Ricardo Genoves. He's 6 for 30 since joining the Emeralds. This is his 11th game since being called up from San Jose, where he was hitting .338 with 11 doubles and 6 homers in 38 ball games. Kirby a look towards second, now to the plate. Genoves lifts this one into right field, where Deloach camps underneath it. Roby, a slight bluff as if he was going to take off for third, but never really had any intentions. And so there's one away here in the bottom of the 2nd inning with a runner on second base, and here's Franklin Labor. Labor faced Kirby a couple of times in the series up in Everett back in June. And he was 2 for 2 with a triple and an RBI. Kirby looks in, gets his sign from his catcher Anchia. A look towards second base, now to the plate. First pitch fastball, 98, and Labor fouls it back. Labor with runners in scoring position, 15 for 45. A .333 average. Kirby takes a while coming set here. Now checks the runner a couple of times, delivers home a fastball that's too high. 1-1 the count. Labor for the season, 32 RBIs. Leads the Emeralds roster with those runs driven in. Looking for another one here with Roby out at second base. 1-1 pitch, fouled back to the net. 1-2 the count. M's trailing 6-0 here in the bottom of the 2nd. Obviously plenty of baseball left to play. It was just a couple of nights ago that the Padres pulled off an improbable 8-run comeback. They were trailing 8-0 in the 4th inning of that game and came all the way back to beat the Nationals 9-8. Kirby comes home, and Labor takes that off-speed pitch and fouls it down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Roby led things off with a double. He's still out there with 1 down. Slight delay here is Connor Hoover. I think he went over to go hand somebody the baseball, and then he also had to pick up the guy's sunglasses down there in the picnic area down the third base line. So Connor Hoover, a good Samaritan. Here's the 1-2. Tried to check his swing, but it doesn't matter. Called third strike on the slider. And Labor down on strikes. Third punch out for Kirby. And after the leadoff double, there's now 2 away. And Carter Aldretti will be the hitter. Last night, Aldretti was 1 for 3, and he scored one of the Emeralds' 2 runs on the night. Kirby rocks his way to the set position and now delivers home. Aldretti takes the fastball high. Aldretti was a 2-sport star in high school. Went on recruiting trips for football to Washington, USC, Stanford, and other Pac-12 schools before deciding to focus on baseball at ASU. Here's the 1-0. This one down and away. So 2 balls and no strikes. Runner on second with 2 down. Aldretti trying to knock in the M's first run of the ball game. Aldretti waits as Kirby comes set. No look at second this time, and the 2-0 pitch hit on the ground to short. Frick gloves it and throws a strike across the diamond. And that'll do it for the Emeralds here in the bottom of the second inning. So they get a leadoff double, 109 miles an hour off the barrel from the cleanup man, Sean Roby, but he can't advance past second base. They strand one. We'll head to the third inning, 6-0 AquaSox. You're listening to M's Baseball on 95.3 The Score. Top of the third inning. AquaSox up big, 6-0. Nick Avila back out to the bump. He came in for the second inning and shut him down 1-2-3. So now he'll be set to face Tyler Keenan, Jack Larson, and Cade Marlowe. Tyler Keenan singled his first time up. Faced Avila a couple of times in that series back in June. Was 2 for 2 with a double. Goes after the first pitch here. It's Carter Aldretti going into shallow right field, making a diving stop, getting up and throwing it to Avila covering. That's the third really nice defensive play that the Emeralds have made tonight. First for Aldretti just to get to it. Roby thought he had a chance, Flores from first thought he might have a chance at it, and he was way too far away from the bag. So Avila wisely covering. And it's 4-1 on the putout. So with 1 away, here's Jack Larson. Avila kicks and delivers. There's a fastball at the knees for a called strike. Avila comes right back with the 0-1. That pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Six runs on 6 hits for the AquaSox. The lone hit for the Emeralds through 2 trips to the plate. The double off the bat of Sean Roby. The 0-2 pitch misses down. Jack Larson drove in a pair with a double his first time up. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it misses outside. So the count evens 2-2. Avila waits for his sign from head of base, now into his motion. And the 2-2 misses outside. That fastball at 94. But after starting him out 0-2, the count is now full. As we mentioned, Avila has been eating innings of late. Ever since they started this piggyback opener starting situation with him, he's gone at least 5 innings. 4 of his last 5 times out. Here he misses with the 3-2. And it's a 1-out walk. First base runner that Avila has allowed. He had retired the first 4 batters that he faced. So here's Cade Marlowe. Marlowe was 2 for 5 last night with a 3-run homer and a double. And he had a double and a homer the night before that. And guess what he had in the first inning? A 2-run double. First pitch here from Avila. Over the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Over at first base, Larson, 9 steals. He's been caught 5 times. Here's the 0-1. And a base. Caught that ball low, came up out of his crouch looking to maybe throw a back pick to first base, but nothing doing. And the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike, a runner on first with 1 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. AquaSox out to the early lead once again. The 1-1, and it misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Avila faced the AquaSox back on June 9th. He went 3 innings. This was actually the last time that he was used as a starter. And Avila gave up 6 earned runs on 9 hits and 2 walks in those 3 innings. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2. After Marlowe, it'll be Jake Anchia. If the conjecture is correct that Carter Binns, who was pulled from the starting lineup just about a half hour before first pitch, that he was promoted and is on his way to Double-A, that Anchia is the only catcher that the AquaSox have on their roster as the 2-2 pitch way outside and the count is full. Kind of interesting that the Mariners would leave the AquaSox hanging with just 1 catcher. The payoff pitch, this one flied out towards center field. Auerbach has it measured, comes in a few steps, now a few more, and he puts it away for out number 2. Well, remember, folks, that Hayden Homes strives to build a strong community by providing home ownership opportunities for the hardworking families of the Willamette Valley. Learn more at haydenhomes.com. So here is Jake Anchia. Comes into this at-bat hitting .206. 14 hits in 68 at-bats. He's played in 18 games for the Frogs. Larson with his lead from first. And first pitch breaking ball from Avila misses up and in. Want to know the count? Avila from the third base side of the rubber delivers, and the pitch is fouled back to the net. 1 ball, 1 strike. Avila is listed at 6'4", 195 pounds. Tall right-hander. Pitching out of the stretch here with his pant legs up. Emeralds, of course, in the home whites. Tomorrow they'll be wearing those Monarchas de Eugene uniforms as the 1-1 pitch. Elevated fastball at 94, swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Now Anchia steps out to wipe his brow. Now he's digging back into the right-handed batter's box. One of the rare right-handed hitters in the AquaSox lineup all week long. The 1-2 pitch just misses inside. Half of the Emeralds defense thought that was strike three. They had a couple of steps towards the dugout. Instead, the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larson over at first base drew a 1-out walk. He takes his lead once again. Here comes the 2-2. He started and stopped. This one hit pretty well out towards left. Quinn going back to the track, and that's off the scoreboard. A 2-run shot for Jake and Chia, and it's now 8-0 AquaSox. So the AquaSox barrage continues here this week. As we mentioned, they've had a way of making the Emeralds pay for issuing free passes. A 1-out walk comes around to score on the 2-run shot. For Anchia, it is his 3rd home run of the season and his 2nd here in this series. Here's a swing and a miss. Connor Hoover. Hoover struck out his first time up. That was in the first inning when AquaSox sent 10 batters to the plate. Tried to check his swing, but Hoover went around, and it's 0-2. Avila into his motion. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that misses low. Hoover has now struck out 65 times in 155 at-bats. Avila sets. Long pause. Still pausing. Now he's into his motion, and the 1-2 misses low. So 2-2 with 2 down and the base is empty. 2 runs in here in the inning. And the pitch. There's a line drive into center field for a base hit. So Hoover extends the inning. And he's going to go for 2. And he's in there. He beats the throw. Turns it into a double. 4th double of the game already for the AquaSox as they bat with 2 down in the top of the 3rd inning. Well, we mentioned it in the pregame show, but the AquaSox scoring 28 runs in the last 3 games. Coming into this one, they had ballooned the Emeralds' team ERA by more than 1/4 of a run. So with 2 down and a runner on second, here's Zach Deloach. Deloach is now 0 for his last 10. And the first pitch, a high fastball in and out of the glove of Genovese, and it gets past him. And advancing on the pass ball, Connor Hoover moves up to 3rd base. Eight runs on 8 hits for the AquaSox. And their starting pitcher has retired 6 of 7, throwing it 99 miles an hour. A 1-0 pitch here to Deloach. In for a called strike to even the count up. Deloach actually flied out twice in that first inning. He led things off going after the very first pitch. And then he was the final out of the inning as well. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. So Deloach's 0 for 10 streak came at the end of a streak where he reached base in 23 consecutive games before going 0 for 6 a couple of nights ago. Here's Avila with the 1-2. Check swing. They'll appeal. He did not go around. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Connor Hoover, the runner over at third base, had a hustle double and then moved over on a pass ball. 90 feet away from adding yet another run to the AquaSox tally this evening. Avila ready, and here's the 2-2. Fouled off to the left and out of play. Looks like Sluggo on the first base side is doing some archery practice. He's got a toy bow and arrow from the suite level trying to hit a target that he put up on the dugout. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and there's a line shot through the left side, and it's in for another AquaSox hit. Their 9th run of the game comes across the score, and it's an RBI single for DeLoach, who snaps that 0 for 10 streak. And Patrick Frick is the hitter. Frick, in the first inning, hit a solo homer. A bouncing ball on the first pitch, right behind the bag at second. Aldretti gloves it, taps second base, and that'll do it for the AquaSox, but not before. They get a walk and 3 hits, including a 2-run homer from Jake Anchia. And it's now 9-0 AquaSox after 2.5 innings. So the Emeralds will come back out in the bottom of the third. It'll be Flores, Quinn, and Auerbach when we return here on the Emeralds Radio Network. 95-3 the score. Bottom of the third inning. Time for the Emeralds to get the bats going. George Kirby, the big right-hander, he's pumping it in there at 99 miles an hour through the first couple of innings, collecting 3 strikeouts. The lone base hit was Sean Roby's, ringing double to lead off the second, but he could not advance past second base. So here's Tyler Flores. It'll be 8-9-1 here in the inning. After Flores, it'll be Heath Quinn, then back to the top of the order for Auerbach. Flores is 1 for 8 in the series. Playing over at first base for the second time this year. George Kirby delivers. First pitch, check swing. And the fastball too high, 1-0. Nine to nothing, the AquaSox lead as Kirby delivers. And the fastball down and away, 2-0. Well, 2015 Emerald star Eloy Jimenez was supposed to start a rehab stint in the White Sox system down in Winston-Salem last night as the 2-0 pitch swung on and missed by Flores, 2-1 the count. But the Dash of Winston-Salem had their game rained out. So they had a doubleheader today. Eloy played in game 1, but he was 2 for 4 with a homer. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Of course, Eloy hurt himself at the end of spring training. It was tough luck for the White Sox, although they're well out in front in first place in the AL Central standings anyway. But they were expecting a breakout season with the young stars that they have, and the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. So Flores down on strikes, 4 punch-outs now for Kirby. And Jimenez went back in left field on a play in spring training, tried to rob a home run, ended up injuring his shoulder. For a while, they thought he might not return this season, but Now just before the All-Star break, starting a rehab assignment. So the White Sox will hope to have him back soon. Here's Heath Quinn, first delivery. A curveball from Kirby, misses down and away. Heath Quinn last night was 1 for 3 with a double. He drove in one of the Emeralds' 2 runs. 1-0 pitch, big swing. But the 98-mile-an-hour fastball gets by him, and it's 1-1. Quinn has hit safely in 5 of the 7 times that he has started a ball game for the M's. Getting back-to-back starts tonight in the 1-1 pitch. Another swing and a miss. Another heater at 98 miles an hour. Bottom of the 3rd inning here. Emeralds down big as the 1-2 fouled back to the top of the screen. It actually ricochets off the top rope of the netting behind home plate. And the catcher, Anchia, turned around to look at it, and it ended up boomeranging right back to him. He didn't even have to leave his crouch. Catch the ball, throw it back to the pitcher. That one, though, was ticketed for the press box if it was another 6 inches higher. Here's the 1-2, and that's high and tight. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with the bases empty and 1 down. Kirby into his windup, and the right-hander delivers. A breaking ball hit on the ground to the left side. Shenton cuts it off in front of the shortstop Frick and throws off balance in time for out number 2. So Brett Auerbach will be the batter. Auerbach worked the count full his first time up, but ended up striking out looking. So 1 time through the order for Kirby. 4 strikeouts, just 1 hit allowed. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball misses up and in. Auerbach was hitting .342 down in San Jose. That was in 117 at-bats before getting the call up here. The 1-0 pitch. Just a bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. In this series, he's proven to be a regular Craig Biggio. He's played second base, catcher, and center field here tonight. First time we've seen him in the outfield as an Emerald. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Kirby, the right-hander, kicks, fires, and bounces that one in. So it's 3 balls and a strike to Auerbach with 2 down. Tyler Fitzgerald waits on deck. And the 3-1 pitch. That's a bit high, and Auerbach is aboard with the walk. So a 2-out base runner for Eugene. Auerbach already has 3 stolen bases in just 7 games played. And in 34 games down in San Jose, he had 7 steals. Well, we'll see if he tries to get something going, although down by 9 runs here. Emeralds don't want to waste any outs, but maybe just to get some action going. Zanchia has only thrown out 2 base runners this year. Tyler Fitzgerald takes a big swing, just gets a piece of it off the end of the bat. fact, Anchia, coming into this series before he got the start on Tuesday night, he had thrown out only 1 of 28 base runners. So maybe an opportunity for the Emeralds to take advantage. 0-1 the count. Auerbach barely with the lead off of first, though. And the 0-1 pitch over the outside corner for a called strike. So 0-2 with a runner on first and 2 down. M's looking for some action. A good crowd here on a Saturday night. Of course, the first week with no capacity restrictions here at PK Park. It's also a fan favorite, dog night on cue. Here's some barking down below as the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Good block by Anchia, and it's 1-2. And the production room having some fun, ringing a doorbell sound effect to get the dogs going. An annual tradition, I suppose, here at PK Park. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. So down goes Fitzgerald. 2 more strikeouts for George Kirby. Gives the right-hander 5 through 3 innings. The Emeralds get a base runner with the 2-out walk to Auerbach, but they leave him stranded over at first base. So through 3 complete, it's 9-0 AquaSox as we head to the top of the 4th inning after a break right here on 95.3 The Score. Top of the 4th inning, Nick Avila back out to the bump. He's gone the last 2 frames. Avila had retired the first 4 batters that he faced for a 1-out walk in the 3rd, and then 2 batters later, Jake Anchia hit a big 2-run bomb, hit off the scoreboard. AquaSox added another run in that 3rd inning. 9-0 the Frogs lead, and here's Austin Shenton. Takes a called strike. Over the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Avila into his motion and tries the same pitch, but it misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin Shenton was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning rally. He bounced out his 2nd time up. 1-1 pitch. Tapped foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Shenton, 46 RBIs, leading the High A West League. And ditto for his 22 doubles this point in the season. We're almost to the halfway point here in the new long season format as the 1-2 pitch, fastball up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tuesday night will be game number 60. Exactly the halfway point. Of course, we're just getting warmed up on the move to long season. 120 games this year with the COVID-shortened season. We didn't start till May. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So down goes Shenton for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Next year, we'll get going in early April, and it will be a 132 game schedule. So Avila challenges Shenton and blew it by him. Pitch was belt high out over the plate. So with 1 down, here's Caden Polkovich. Polkovich fouls this one back. Polkovich 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 1st, popped out to short his last time up. It was actually a terrific play to end the 2nd inning by Tyler Fitzgerald going back on a pop-up into shallow left. Here, Polkovich spins on this one and yanks it way foul. So quickly, it's 0-2. And Polkovich goes for a little walk. Now he'll dig back in. Avila into his motion, and the 0-2 hit on the ground. That's through the right side for a base hit. Hit number 10 of the game for the AquaSox. So here's Tyler Keenan. Keenan, also 1 for 2. He singled his first time up. 9 runs on now 10 hits for the Frogs, as they're on the verge of reaching double digits for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. First pitch here to Keenan misses low, ball 1. Nick Avila comes set, and the 1-0 pitch. This one lifted out to deep left field, but playable as moving over. Heath Quinn puts it away for the 2nd out of the inning. Well, are you ready to meet the biggest challenges, stop the biggest threats, and make an impact? Then you might be ready to become a soldier of the U.S. Army. Visit GoArmy.com or the Eugene Army Career Center on River Road and Division Avenue. So Jack Larson bats here. Runner on first and 2 down. Larson, a 2-run double in the first. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Avila ready. Long pause, and now to the plate. Fastball over the outer half for a called strike. Larson spent 2018 and 2019 at the high A level in the then California League for the Modesto Nuts. Here's the 0-1, and that misses off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Avila, that was pitch number 50 through 2 2/3 innings. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Avila retired the first 4 batters that he faced before issuing a walk to Jack Larson. And 2 batters later, a 2-run homer. Up in Hillsboro, where the Vancouver Canadians are playing their home games, they're hosting the Spokane Indians. And Vancouver trails 3-2. That game's in the top of the 5th inning. The 1-2 pitch lifted out towards left center field. Auerbach had him shaded that direction, moves over, and makes the catch for the final out. So a 1-out single here in the top of the 4th, no damage done. But the AquaSox keep rolling along with their 9-0 advantage. We'll be back with the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to Emeralds Baseball on 95.3 The Score. Smith struck out his first time up. George Kirby continues his warm-up tosses here. Smith entered play hitting .280 in 75 at-bats for the M's. Just a couple of years ago, Armani Smith was playing up the road in Salem, I guess more accurately in Kaiser, for the Volcanoes. And in 43 games, he batted .307 that year with 4 homers and 25 runs batted in. So he's going to look to get something going here. The Emeralds still have plenty of time, plenty of outs to work with as they start the bottom of the 4th inning. But with a 9-run deficit. First pitch fastball, 98 miles an hour from George Kirby, taking up an in ball 1. Well, word just came across the wire here that Ronald Acuna Jr., who was carted off the field earlier this afternoon for the Braves, as the 1-0 pitch in for a called strike evens up the count. has a torn ACL. Presumably out for the season. Here's the 1-1. Here's a little tapper right back to the mound. Kirby bare hands it and then soft tosses it over to first. So Sean Roby will step in. Roby, the only Emerald with a base hit. And it was a pretty impressive at-bat. Roby took one 98 miles an hour right under his chin. And then somewhat predictably, Kirby tried to throw a slider down and away. Kind of missed with location further in than he wanted. And Roby roped it to left field for a double. First pitch here, Kirby tries the curveball, but it's too high. Want to know the count. Here's the 1-0. Again with the soft stuff. And again, it's too high. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 down, base is empty here in the bottom of the 4th. Sean Roby, his double in the 2nd inning was his 8th 2-bagger of the season. He also has 7 home runs. 2-0 pitch. There's the heater. Swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. Kirby into his motion. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Another fastball and another swing and a miss. That one at the belt over the inner half. So the count evens up here. Up in the Tri-Cities, Dust Devils own a 5-3 lead over Hillsborough. They're in the bottom of the 4th there. 2-2 pitch. Another fastball, and Roby is down on strikes. He swings and misses at 3 straight heaters. And that is strikeout number 6 for Kirby. And with 2 away, the batter will be Ricardo Genoves. Genoves is 0 for 1, flied out to right his first time up. M's looking for some offense here. The AquaSox put up 6 in the first, 3 more in the 3rd. And there's a first pitch, base hit through the left side. So 2nd knock of the game for Eugene. This one comes with 2 outs in the 4th. And it extends the inning for Franklin Labor. Labor struck out looking his first time up. "17 extra base hits in 47 games played. Labor has his OPS at .815. Genoves over at first base. Not a steal threat, especially down by 9 runs. But as we mentioned, the catcher Anchia is only 2 for 29 throwing out base runners this year. First pitch in for a called strike to Labor. Franklin Labor was the High A West Player of the Week a few weeks ago. He had 3 home runs in a series against Hillsborough. Here's the 0-1. Tried to check his swing, but he could not, and it's 0-2. (0-2) with 2 down. Genoves over at first base. Kirby comes set. Everett's right-hander to the plate in the 0-2. A fastball at 98 miles an hour is too high. And the Braves did confirm that Acuna Jr. will undergo season-ending surgery. The 1-2 pitch. That thing is pulled foul on the ground. Labor hit it hard. But the count remains 1-2. Acuna Jr. was, of course, slated to go to the All-Star game in a few days in Denver, and instead it will be Manny Machado taking his place. 1-2 the count. Kirby comes set, and the pitch. This time he hits it hard on the ground to the right side, foul. And so we'll do it again. So a runner on first with 2 down. The right fielder, Deloach, having to go over and retrieve that ball for a second time as he tossed it to a fan down in the picnic area. They dropped it back onto the field. So a runner aboard. Labor, as we mentioned, leads the Emeralds with 32 runs batted in. And the 1-2, that's in the dirt. Labor thought about it, but was able to hold up, and the count evens at 2-2. Kirby with 6 strikeouts through 3 2/3 innings. And the next pitch will be number 64. Long pause here. Now the 2-2 on its way, and he struck him out. Fastball at 97. And Labor down on strikes for the second time tonight. Give him 7 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. And the AquaSox are in cruise control, 9-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. You're listening to Emeralds Baseball here on 95.3 The Score. So tomorrow, it'll be noon Pacific time. The Futures game will be taking place in Denver at Coors Field in the lead up to not only the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game, but the MLB Draft is going to be taking place there as well. That's Sunday evening. But the Futures game, the Giants have a couple of representatives. Elliot Ramos, outfield prospect, playing at Double-A Richmond to start this season. And then also Marco Luciano, the young phenom down in San Jose. Those are the 2 reps from the Giants organization. Seattle has 3 as Nick Avila starts the top of the 5th inning. Throwing a fastball to Cade Marlowe, swung on and missed, 0-1. Seattle has Jared Kelenic, who of course spent some time earlier this year in the big leagues. And then a couple of players that spent most of the first part of the season with these AquaSox. As the 0-1 pitch misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. Julio Rodriguez, the number 5 prospect in all of baseball, was just promoted a couple of weeks ago. We just missed him here at PK Park as the 1-1 pitch misses down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike, although based on the 9-0 score here, I don't know if the AquaSox needed his offense in the lineup this week. And then Emerson Hancock, who we would have seen pitch here this week had he not been headed to Denver. 2-1 pitch. Fouled off and out of play. 2-2 the count. Cade Marlowe had a 2-run double in that 6-run first inning. Flied out to center field his last time. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And swung on and missed. So Avila strikes out the first hitter here. His second punch out since entering the ball game to start the second inning. Good curveball over the outer half. Marlowe couldn't handle it, and now Jake Anchia. Jake Anchia already in this ball game with a double and a home run. And in fact, last night he had a double and a home run. First pitch fastball over the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Well, last night the AquaSox had 3 home runs. They've got 2 already here this evening. The 0-1 pitch hit hard on the ground right at Roby, but he backhands it and then casually flips it across the diamond for the second out of the inning. Nice play by Sean Roby. The Emeralds have had the defense going here tonight. We've seen a nice play by every single infielder, really. Roby right there with a hot shot, backhanded. Fitzgerald made a nice running grab on a pop-up out into shallow left. Aldretti made a diving play where he had to flip it to Avila covering. And the first pitch to Connor Hoover. That's roped into right center field. That'll get down for a hit. Labor gets to it quickly. Hoover had thoughts of double right off the bat, and he slides in safely to second base. Labor got to it quickly, hit the cutoff man, but the relay was just too slow. So a 2-out double. Hoover's second double. 4th double of the game for the AquaSox in their 11th base hit. And with 2 down, they have a man in scoring position for Zach DeLoach. Nine nothing AquaSox here in the top of the 5th inning. Don't forget tomorrow, 5:05 start time for Los Monarcas de Eugene, as there's another line drive into right field. That's going to score a run. So an RBI single for Zach DeLoach, his 2nd consecutive hit. And it's now 10-0 AquaSox here in the top of the 5th inning. So here's Patrick Frick with 2 down and a runner on first. AquaSox with 6 in the first, 3 in the third. 1 more here in the 5th. Back-to-back hits after 2 men were out. Frick homered back in the first inning. Hits this one right between the legs of Avila into center field for another base hit. Now 10 runs on 13 hits. As the throw comes into Carter Aldretti, he leaps up. It was over his head, and his glove fell off of his hand. It has not been the Emeralds' week. So Austin Shenton due up. And before Avila makes his first pitch for the number 3 hitter in the AquaSox lineup, it'll be a trip to the mound from pitching coach Alan Quijano. No one warming in the bullpen, so this is just a pep talk. Well, if you're looking for a location to host a meeting or for colleagues coming into town, the award-winning team at the Courtyard by Marriott Eugene Springfield is ready with a Marriott welcome and a special deal just for our Eugene Emeralds fans. Mention M's fan when making your meeting or group reservation, and you'll receive double Marriott Bonvoy points. So Quijano heads back to the dugout. Runners at first and second, 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. This pitch in the dirt gets away from Genovese, and both runners will advance. So now 2 men in scoring position with 2 away, and the league's leading RBI man at the dish. Shenton has driven in 46 to this point. Of course, tied for second is the man on deck, Caden Polkovich, with 43. Here's the 1-0. Yanked foul, heads up in the picnic area. Actually hit it over the picnic area, down the right field line. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Well, after the AquaSox won last night by a score of 8-2, they've scored 391 runs while giving up 229 runs. Call that a 162 run differential, and that's the highest run differential in professional baseball. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 1-2 the count. And of course, they're helping that number with a 10-0 advantage here in the top of the 5th inning and threatening for more. Avila comes set, and the 1-2 pitch. Tapped foul at the plate. And so Shenton stays alive, and so does this top of the 5th inning. For Avila, that last pitch, number 66. He's trying to finish off his 4th inning of relief. Avila comes set. And the 1-2 pitch. That misses outside. Well, down in L.A., the Dodgers are roughing up the Diamondbacks. 9-0 is the score there, with Walker Buehler on the hill for the Dodgers as they try to keep pace with the Giants, who after their win earlier this afternoon currently sit 2.5 games up. Here's the 2-2 from Avila. That one hit pretty well out towards left center field, giving Chase is Auerbach back to the track, and you can tell it goodbye. A 3-run shot for Austin Shenton, and the boat race continues. It's now 13-0. My goodness, these Everett AquaSox, we knew they were good when they came into town. But they have really poured it on here over the last 4 games. This one, the biggest drubbing of them all. And they're still batting here in the top of the 5th inning. Their 3rd home run of the game for Shenton, his 9th of the season, and he now has 49 ribbies. This is game number 54 that he has played. Here's a chopper up the middle for another base hit. And Polkovich had thoughts of rounding and heading for 2, but he'll put on the brakes around first base. So now the batter, Tyler Keenan. That's now 5 hitters in a row to hit safely here after a strikeout and a ground out. Avila got the first 2 outs of the inning. Tyler Keenan 1 for 3. First pitch over the inside corner for a called strike. 13 runs on 15 hits for Everett. And the 0-1 delivery. A breaking ball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Polkovich with his lead from first. I would say at this point the running game would be out of the question at the 1-1 pitch. Misses inside. 2-1 the count. But just for giggles, he has 14 steals and 17 tries this year. Keenan, in his first game since June 29th, singled in his very first at-bat. He was 2 for 2 against Avila back in June, but so far tonight a bounce out and a flyout. 0 for 2 against the M's right-hander as Avila delivers and the pitch misses inside. So here comes the 2-2 delivery, swung on and missed. So the beer batter goes down on strikes. And the fans rejoice here at PK Park, but on the scoreboard, the AquaSox put up a 4 spot here in the top of the 5th inning, and they have extended to a 13-0 lead. We're halfway home here in Eugene. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th after these messages here on 95.3 The Score. Bottom of the 5th inning, George Kirby making his warm-up tosses. Emeralds down 13-0, and here in the home half of the 5th inning, they will send to the plate Carter Aldretti, Tyler Flores, followed by Heath Quinn. It's been a rough few games. The Emeralds, in the last 3.5 ball games, have been outscored 41-8. Aldretti bounced out to short his first time up. So Aldretti stands in. Came into the game hitting .207 with a .518 OPS. 1 home run and 9 runs batted in. And 87 at-bats. Pause here. Now Kirby ready for the 5th inning, and it's fouled off to the right and out of play. That fastball at 96. Kirby started the game routinely at 98, 99. His pitch count has gotten up a bit. The last one was number 65 as we start the 5th inning. Carter Aldretti drives this one deep to right field, to the track, and it is out of here. Off the Bud Light Seltzer sign, and the Emeralds are on the board. It's now 13-1. So Aldretti goes Oppo Taco. It's his 2nd home run of the year. And now Tyler Flores will step to the plate. And Flores takes a backdoor breaking ball in for a called strike. Kirby into his motion, and the 0-1 pitch. Got Flores out on his front foot with the off speed. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch, again off speed. Misses just a bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Heath Quinn waits on deck. Kirby into his motion, the 1-2 pitch, and he got him swinging with the high cheddar. He climbed the ladder with 97 miles an hour, and that's strikeout number 8 now for Kirby. Heath Quinn, the batter. Quinn bounced out to third his first time to the plate. Everett's outfield gives them a big gap in left center field. Quinn takes a big swing. Comes up empty on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. 13-1, Everett out in front. And the 0-1 pitch. That misses down and in. Kirby stands tall on the rubber, 6'4", into his motion, and the 1-1 pitch, another swing and a miss. Fastball at 97 once again, so it's 1-2. Kirby stares in for his sign for Manchia. They're going to go upstairs with the fastball again, and it's a called third strike. So back-to-back punch-outs after the solo homer from Aldretti. Back to the top of the order with 2 down and the base is empty, and it's Brett Auerbach. Mentioned that Auerbach had 6 RBIs on Tuesday night in his first Emeralds home game. He had a 3-run homer early in the game, and then later on, a 3-run double. He cleared the bases. Also made some nice defensive plays, and he's played all over the diamond. He has shown well in his first stint here as an Emerald. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kirby in 7 starts to this point. He's thrown as many as 90 pitches. As the 1-1, a curveball in for a called strike. 1-2 the count. But Kirby now over 75 pitches. When he threw 90, he had his longest outing of the year. He threw 6 innings against the Dust Devils a couple of starts ago. So we'll see how far he can go. Last night, it was Tim Elliott throwing 103 pitches to finish 8 innings. And the night before, Levi Stout threw 98 to get through 8 innings. Here's another swing and a miss. And after the home run, George Kirby comes back to strike out the side. So Carter Aldretti starts the inning by going bye-bye, baby. He gets the Emeralds on the board. But there's still a far cry from the AquaSox. 13-1 the score as we head to the top of the 6th inning after these messages here on 95.3 The Score. Top of the 6th inning. AquaSox up big here. They're looking to make it 4 in a row against the Emeralds. And their starting pitcher, George Kirby's been cruising, other than the solo homer that Carter Aldretti hit just an inning ago. He has 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. So here's Jack Larson. He's 1 for 2, a 2-run double and a walk, and he scored a couple of runs. Stands in from the left side against Nick Avila. Into his motion, and the first pitch is over the outside corner for a called strike. Well, I mentioned the Futures game tomorrow at noon in Denver. The 0-1 swung on and missed. So quickly it's 0-2. Tomorrow night, or late afternoon here on the West Coast, 4 p.m., the start of the MLB draft here in the 2021 season. New draft format as the 0-2 poked foul the opposite way. Of course, for years it had been a 40-round draft and generally took place the first, second week of June, somewhere in the June 7th to June 10th range. Well, now they're incorporating it into the All-Star festivities as the 0-2 pitch. That one served into left field. Another base hit, 16 now for the AquaSox. Heath Quinn gets it in quickly as the Frogs have shown a propensity to try to stretch things into doubles, especially tonight. And so it is a leadoff single. But tomorrow night, the draft, the Pirates are on the clock. They have the #1 overall pick. The most recent projections and reports have them looking at either a California high school shortstop, Marcelo Mayer, or Louisville catcher, Henry Davis. First pitch, swung on and missed here by Cade Marlowe. Marlowe 1 for 3. He had a 2-run double in that 6-run first inning. Giants will be selecting the number 14 slot. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. And the Mariners, the big league affiliate of the AquaSox, they're picking number 12. It'll likely be in the next year or two that we'd see those players here in the high A West level. A little different than the short season attention to the draft as the 1-2, or the 0-2, excuse me, misses down and away. In short season, oftentimes the roster would be made up on opening day about halfway with players that were just drafted a week and a half ago. As for many, it's their first foray into professional baseball. A little more seasoned here, a couple levels up. The 1-2 pitch popped back and out of play. 1-2 the count. Of course, the short season level doesn't exist anymore. Rookie ball down in the complex leagues. What we used to call the Arizona League, now the Arizona Complex League. That's really the lowest level here in the States. Here's the 1-2. Check swing, and the pitch is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larson over at first after a leadoff single. Here's the 2-2. That one's popped up on the infield. Looks like Roby camped underneath it. Fitzgerald came over, but it'll be Roby for the catch. 1 away. So here's Jake and Chia. And Chia, 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. He had an RBI double in the first, a 2-run homer in the third. 13-1 AquaSox as Avila delivers a fastball for a strike at the knees. This is Avila's 5th inning of work here, probably his last. There's some couple of relievers out in the bullpen starting to stretch out. The 0-1, fouled away. And the count is 0-2. Well, if this score holds up, the M's trailing 13-1. Everett's run differential, which we mentioned earlier, is the highest run differential in all of professional baseball. It would be up to 174 runs. This is their 57th game played. While the Emeralds, who are in second place here in the league, as the 0-2 pitch misses down and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Emeralds' run differential would be just +3 if this game finishes with this score. Avila comes set. Ready for a 1-2 pitch. And that's rolled foul. Up the third base line. Well, this series will wrap up tomorrow evening, 5:05 first pitch. Go on out and enjoy a Monarchas de Eugene Sunday. Special early start time. Then the boys will head on the road. They'll spend the off day on the bus. Alex Stimson is excited about that. Then he'll have the call for you from the 13th through the 18th. All 6 days up in Spokane, taking on the Indians. Still getting used to Spokane being a Colorado affiliate. They were for the longest time with the Texas Rangers. The 1-2 lifted into foul territory down the right field line. And that'll land foul. Labor was coming over, making some hand signals. I don't know. Maybe he was telling the first baseman Flores that he had no chance to get it, but he kind of pulled up. Ball landed a few feet in play. I don't think anybody was going to get to it anyway. Maybe he was saying no need to crash into the wall here in a 13-1 ball game. One and two the count. Runner on first with one out. And a swing and a miss. So Avila collects the strikeout. Out number 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Connor Hoover, now the hitter, number 9 hitter in the order. 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. Connor Hoover, drafted in 2017 in the 21st round out of the University of North Georgia. First pitch from Avila in the dirt. Ball 1. Hoover, yet another left-handed hitter in the lineup. They have 6 lefties and a switch hitter to the AquaSox. That's not even necessarily loading things up against the right-handed starter, Solomon Bates. As the 1-0 pitch misses down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Their roster composition, they have 6 outfielders listed on their roster due to the AquaSox. 5 of them are left-handed, and 1 of them's a switch hitter. The 2-0, swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. They have 5 infielders on the roster to the AquaSox. 2 of them left-handed hitters, and 1 of them a switch hitter. So a lot of different options for lineup composition for Lewis Boyd over at Everett. 2-1 pitch. That's in for a called strike. So 2-2 with 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning. Everett with a 12-run advantage. Looks like Bryce Tucker starting to warm up for the Emeralds. The 2-2. That's fouled away. And we'll do it again. Feels like it's been a long time since the Emeralds won 9-3 back on Tuesday. Larson takes his lead from first. He led off the inning with a single. A pop out and a strikeout later. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And Hoover takes it inside. The count is full. So Hoover digs in again. Avila has his sign. Getting ready to make the payoff pitch. The runner from first will be on the move. There he goes, and the pitch is swung on and missed. So a couple of strikeouts for Avila. A leadoff single, but Larson can't advance past first. Elevated fastball, and Hoover couldn't catch up to it. So we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Everett still way out in front, 13-1. We'll be back with more after these messages here on 95.3 The Score. Bottom of the 6th inning. Emeralds back to the plate. George Kirby taking his time with the warm-up tosses between innings here. So with a couple of more to get ready to face. 2, 3, 4 in the lineup for the Emeralds. Tyler Fitzgerald, Armani Smith, and then it'll be Sean Roby. The Emeralds, 1 run on 3 hits to this point. Roby had one of them. The very first one, a double to lead off the 2nd inning. The only run that the Emeralds have posted, Carter Aldretti, a solo blast the opposite way. That was to lead off the 5th inning. So here is Fitzgerald to start the 6th. Tyler Fitzgerald entered play tonight, 10 for 32, a .313 average against AquaSox pitching. Fitzgerald tonight 0 for 2, flight out to left his first time. Struck out his last time up, and now he steps out of the box. Got something in his eye. He's trying to rub it with his batting glove to make sure he can see here. Especially important is George Kirby. Obviously isn't that easy to hit. He's got 10 strikeouts in 5 innings and allowed just the 1 run on 3 hits. Kirby's made 78 pitches to this point. If he can get through the 6th here, he will equal his season high. As Fitzgerald goes after the first pitch, hits it well out towards left center field. Giving chase is Cade Marlowe, and he makes the high backhanded grab on the warning track for out number 1. So Fitzgerald gives it a ride, but not quite enough, and now Armani Smith stands in. Smith 0 for 2, strikeout, and a bouncer back to the mound. In fact, that comebacker back in the 4th inning. Kirby just reached his big paw out and snared it with his bare hand and threw to first. Here the first delivery over the outside corner, in for a called strike. 13-1, Everett out in front. And the 0-1 pitch. That misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith waits, and Kirby into his motion. The 1-1 pitch. Armani Smith tattoos this one to left, going back and making another fine catch is Connor Hoover this time. Off the bat, you thought that one might be out of here. It at least has to get over the left fielder's head. Well, nope. Connor Hoover goes back, reaches up high, right in front of that San Francisco Giants sign. In left field, he makes the grab. So the Emeralds hit a couple of balls hard here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but they have nothing to show for it. Well, here's the guy who has the hardest hit ball tonight for an Emerald, maybe for anybody, to be honest. A 109-mile-an-hour laser off the bat of Roby earlier in this game. This time it's an check swing roller up the first base line. Gloved by Larson, flips it to Kirby covering. Roby slams his helmet down as he reaches first base. And that'll do it for the Emeralds. A quick 1-2-3 inning. And George Kirby is now through 6 complete, and he's thrown 83 pitches. So that economical 6th inning, likely that we'll see him coming out for the 7th. 13-1, the AquaSox have been in control all night long. We'll be back with the top of the 7th inning. Bryce Tucker coming in, it appears, when we return after these messages on 95.3 The Score. Top of the 7th inning. Bryce Tucker in for Eugene, left-handed reliever, and he is set to face the top of the order for the AquaSox, who are out in front 13-1. They put up a 6 spot in the first inning, and they haven't looked back. Zach DeLoach snapped an 0 for 10 streak with an RBI single in the 3rd inning, and he liked it so much he did the same thing in the 5th. Batting in the top of the 7th inning here as Tucker comes set, now home, and it's too high, ball 1. Tucker in 15 ball games has finished 19 innings of work. 19 strikeouts, 24 walks, though, and an ERA at 7.58. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a bouncing ball out towards second. Aldretti a couple of steps in, throws to first, and there's one away here in the top of the 7th. Well, Nova Health is giving $25 sports physicals starting July 1st. Through the August the 31st, that is. Youth athletes need to have one to participate in school-sponsored athletics. Nova Health has those $25 sports physicals through August 31st. Find your nearest clinic at novahealth.com. Bryce Tucker now to work on Patrick Frick. First pitch curveball, just 68 miles an hour, misses down and in, ball 1. So 1 out, base is empty. Tucker relieves Nick Avila. And the lefty delivers up and in, so he's fallen behind. 2 balls and no strikes here to Patrick Frick. Final line for Avila. He finishes 5 innings, but he allows 7 runs, all of them earned, on 10 base hits and 1 walk. This one hit on the ground. Backhanded by the shortstop Fitzgerald, and he throws a strike for out number 2. For Fitzgerald, coming into play tonight, we mentioned it in the pregame show, in 161 chances defensively, playing all over the infield, second, third, and shortstop, mainly second and short, though. He had committed just 2 errors so far this season. Austin Shenton, the batter. And Tucker delivers. Slow curveball. Shenton lifts it out towards center field. Auerbach started back, now comes in, and he has to play it on a bounce. So Shenton now 2 for 4 tonight. And the inning extends for the cleanup hitter, Caden Polkovich. Polkovich will turn around to bat from the right side against the southpaw Tucker. Tucker ignoring the runner at first, now delivers. Curveball too high. That one all the way down to 67 miles an hour. Tucker ready. As Shenton has his lead from first, this one comes inside, and it got him. Second hit by pitch from the Emeralds pitching staff tonight. So after 2 outs, a single, a hit batter, 2 on and 2 out. And here's Tyler Keenan. Keenan 1 for 4. He singled in the 6-run first inning. 0 for 3 since then. But this is his first at-bat against the left-hander, Bryce Tucker. Tucker ready. And delivers home. Curveball in for a called strike. 0-1. Tucker sets. And the 0-1 pitch. Another curveball. This one slapped foul the opposite way, and it's 0-2. Looking to get us to the 7th inning stretch here. Frogs up big, 13-1 over the Emeralds. Looking to make it 4 straight are the AquaSox. Here's the 0-2, and it misses outside. Fastball up and away at 87 miles an hour. Well, Vancouver and Spokane, they're tied at 3. That game is in the top of the 8th inning up at Ron Tonkin Field. And at Giesa Stadium, the Tri-City Dust Devils lead the Hillsboro Hops 8-3. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. And that'll be it for the AquaSox here at the top of the 7th inning. So they get a couple of base runners after 2 men were out. Good curveball from Bryce Tucker ends the inning. And we will head to the 7th inning stretch. The Emeralds trailing by 12 runs. It'll be Genovese, Labor, and Aldretti when we return after these messages here on 95.3 The Score. Bottom of the 7th inning. George Kirby back to the mound here. Emeralds have only gotten 1 run on 3 hits against Everett's big right-hander out of Elon University. 2019 first-round pick by the Mariners. And he's listed as their number 4 prospect in the Seattle system. It'll be Ricardo Genovese, Franklin Labor, and Carter Aldretti due up. Genovese does have one of the Emeralds' 3 hits. That was a 2-out single back in the 4th inning. AquaSox with 13 runs on 17 hits to this point. Kirby with 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, just the 3 hits and 1 walk. 10 strikeouts are a season high. Check swing from Genovese, and the count is 0-1. Fastball at 95. As we mentioned, first pitch of the game, he threw it at 99 miles an hour. Genovese fouls away the next one. 0-2 the count. Well, the Dodgers are giving the Arizona Diamondbacks the Everett AquaSox treatment. They're leading 13-0 right now after Mookie Betts just hit a grand slam moments ago down at Dodger Stadium. So indications are that they will keep pace with the Giants tonight and remain 2 games back. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strikeout number 11 for George Kirby. And that is a career high with 11 strikeouts for Kirby. Here's Franklin Labor. Franklin 0 for 2, both of them strikeouts. And not only is it a career high in strikeouts, he's never recorded an out in the 7th inning before. And now he has 6 1/3, and he's still rolling. First pitch here to Labor, misses down and away, 1-0. AquaSox bullpen is plenty rested. They do have a right-hander just starting to warm up right now. He pulls the string at 85 miles an hour. Labor swings and misses, and the count is 1-1. 1-1 pitch, misses down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned it earlier, but the last 2 starters for Everett have each gone 8 innings. So the bullpen has thrown exactly 2 frames over the last couple of nights. And we'll see how far Kirby is allowed to go. Last pitch was number 89. 2-1, there's a bouncing ball and through up the middle for a base hit. So a 1-out single for Franklin Labor. Maybe that's how the Emeralds start their comeback. Here's Carter Aldretti. He homered his last time up. The lone run for the Emeralds. He drove it the opposite way. Banged it off the Bud Light Seltzer sign just above the Emeralds bullpen. So Labor with his lead from first. Kirby into the stretch. He hasn't done that very often tonight. And Aldretti was right on that fastball at 95, but he fouled it straight back, and it's 0-1. Labor hops out to his lead. Waiting for Kirby to come set here. Now he does. And the 0-1 pitch is forthcoming. Here it comes, and the tapper up the first base line, right to the first baseman Larson. Throws it to second for 1, on to first with Kirby covering 2, a double play. So Aldretti, a check swing roller that turns in to the 3-6-1 double play. So the 1-out single from Labor is erased. And that'll do it for the Emeralds in the last of the 7th inning. So we will move on to the 8th with the AquaSox still out in front, 13-1. Keep it tuned right here to Emeralds Baseball on 95.3 The Score. Top of the 8th inning. Welcome back to the Courtyard by Marriott broadcast booth. The team at the Courtyard by Marriott is looking for new members to join their team, and it's easy to apply via our Facebook page. That's their Facebook page. The award-winning Courtyard by Marriott Eugene Springfield is locally owned and operated, offering full and part-time positions with opportunity for growth. Courtyard is proud to support the Eugene Emeralds and be a part of the M's home team. Well, it's 13-1 here. Just before the break, we mentioned that Mookie Betts had hit a grand slam down at Dodger Stadium. Well, I'm not sure if it was 3 in a row, but they've hit 3 home runs in this inning. Albert Pujols just hit another homer, and it's 16-0. The Dodgers are beating the Diamondbacks. Something in the air about routes today. Giants scored early and often and won 10-4. Brandon Crawford had a double and a homer, his 18th of the season. Now, a delay here to start the 8th inning. AquaSox didn't have a first base coach. Perished the thought of an at-bat without one of those. And I think that's actually the manager, Lewis Boyd, who had to sprint out there and position himself as the first base coach. Now we're ready for some baseball in the top of the 8th inning. And Tucker delivers. And the pitch misses down and in, ball 1. Jack Larson, the batter. 2 for 3, a single, a 2-run double. He's walked. AquaSox 13 runs on 17 hits. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good curveball that time from Bryce Tucker. Left-hander coming out for his 2nd inning of work. He relieved Nick Avila, who went 5 frames after the Emeralds employed the opener once again in front of Avila. 1-1 pitch in for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Larson starts things here in the 8th. It'll be Cade Marlowe next and Jake Anchia after that. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's driven the opposite way. Hit well, but right at Heath Quinn. He retreats a few steps, reaches up, and puts it away for out number 1. Well, going back 12 years, this date in baseball history, San Francisco Giants had their 13th no-hitter thrown in franchise history. Johnny Sanchez, the lefty, turned the trick against the Padres on this date back in 2009 as Cade Marlowe yanks the first pitch that he sees into right field for a single, another hit, his second of the night, number 18 for Everett. So a one-out base runner here in the top of the 8th inning, and the batter, Jake Anchia. Well, Jonathan Sanchez, that was actually the first Giants no-hitter in 33 years was the drought. I remember it well. It was a 4-game series against the Padres. Sanchez threw the no-hitter on a Saturday night. I went to the game on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Saw Lincecum, Kane, and Zito pitch, and it was Jonathan Sanchez that snuck in the first no-hitter in over 3 decades. And Chia takes a called strike 1. That curveball at 69 miles an hour. Had a buddy that even offered me an extra ticket to the Saturday night game, and I was like, I don't need to go to all 4. Plus, I'd rather see Kane, Lincecum, and Zito as the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Tucker comes set. Pause and now delivers to the plate. The 0-2 just misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Chia, back-to-back nights with a homer and a double. The 1-2 pitch. There's a called third strike. And Chia knew it right away. Must have been looking for the curveball after the fastball just before it over the inside part of the plate, or I guess just off the inside part of the plate, was a close one. He took that one over the outer half. And there's out number 2 here in the inning. And next up is the 9th-place hitter, Connor Hoover. He's 2 for 4. 2 doubles and 2 strikeouts. Tucker, curveball, misses, way outside, ball 1. Tucker comes home in the 1-0 pitch. There's a curveball hit into right field, but it's snared by Aldretti about 15 feet into the outfield grass. He got up to try to make a throw. Tucker wasn't over to the bag yet. I don't think they were going to have a play on him anyway. And Aldretti couldn't get a handle of the ball, so it'll be a single. Second hit of the inning. 2 on and 2 out, back to the top of the order for Zach DeLoach. Bryce Tucker throws a fastball here to the left-handed hitting Zach DeLoach, and it misses outside. Well, friend of the show, Alex Simpson, would like you to know that the Dodgers became the first MLB team in history to hit 2 grand slams in a game twice in the same season. One of the best second-place teams out there. The 1-0 pitch in for a called strike. 1-1 the count. M's infield. Plays DeLoach to pull the ball, as does the outfield, in fact. Not the exaggerated shift as the 1-1 pitch gets past Genovese. Both runners will advance. I don't know if that was a cross-up. It's a fastball at 87. A little bit up, but certainly within the reach of Genovese. Just tips off the top of his glove. So in my book, that's the second pass ball tonight. Runners at second and third with 2 down. 13-1, the AquaSox out in front. Here's the 2-1, curveball, misses outside. Three and 1 the count. Patrick Frick waits on deck. And the 3-1, swing and a miss. And the count is full. DeLoach. 2 RBI singles in this one. He's 2 for 5. Here's the payoff pitch. And he drives this the opposite way, but that'll slice foul. Actually hit that rope that connects the netting down to the pole way beyond the foul pole. Kind of an awkward ricochet there. In any event, it's a long foul ball. Couple of singles here in the inning for the AquaSox. Runners at second and third. Tucker looking for a second inning of relief work without allowing a run. And he gets it. A high fastball swung on and missed. 2 strikeouts in the frame for Tucker. A couple of base hits, but they're both stranded in scoring position. So we'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning. And it looks like the evening done for George Kirby as a reliever jogs in from the bullpen. And we'll have the bottom of the 8th for you when we return here on 95.3 The Score. And welcome back. Bottom of the 8th inning. Emeralds trailing by 12 runs here as the AquaSox have scored 41 runs in the last 4 games. And they've also been getting some great starting pitching as well. Back-to-back 8-inning starts the last 2 nights. And then tonight, George Kirby goes 7 innings, a career high, with 11 strikeouts, a career high, and allows 4 hits, just 1 run, an opposite field homer off the bat of Carter Aldretti. So the Frogs finally do go to the bullpen. They've been like the Maytag repairmen down there. David Ellingson enters the ball game, and Tyler Flores, the first hitter, takes an off-speed pitch up and in. Want to know the count? Flores 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. This is a little broken bat flare on the infield. It's over towards Frick, the shortstop. He comes all the way over in front of the second baseman and flips it with his glove to first just in time to get Flores. So an odd play with the shift on. Frick started just to the right of second base. Came in as that ball was dribbling out towards the infield dirt. Gloved it, never used his right hand. Just flipped it with the leather over to the first baseman, Larson. A nice play, 6-3 for the first out of the inning here in the 8th. Ellingson delivers. And that one misses up and away. Ball 1. Ellingson, the right-hander, kicks and delivers. And that misses down and away. 2-1 the count. Ellingson has gotten into 14 games, and he's only allowed 2 earned runs in 21 1/3 innings for Everett this year. That's a .84 ERA as the 2-0 pitch here to Heath Quinn. Fouled in and out of the glove of the catcher Anchia. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1, and that misses away. 3 balls and a strike. Heath Quinn 0 for 2, bounced out in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 5th. Quinn skies this one out to right field. Backing up is Deloach, and finally it settles in his mitt for out number 2. Back to the top of the order for the Emeralds. And the batter will be Brett Auerbach. Well, tomorrow night, in the series finale, it'll be lefty Seth Corey going for the Emeralds, and right-hander Taylor Dollard for Everett. Of course, remember, 5:05 first pitch tomorrow night. First pitch swinging, Auerbach doesn't get it, and it's 0-1. I almost said it's always a 5:05 start time on Sundays, but that's not exactly true. A heat wave came through a couple of weeks ago, and a last-minute change to the 1 p.m. game to try to avoid the hottest part of the day. 0-1 pitch misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. But 5:05 is the plan the rest of the way. Here's the 1-1. There's a bouncing ball out towards second base. Polkovich charges. It's a big hop and then flips it over to first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning for David Ellingson. And we will move on to the 9th inning. 13-1, the AquaSox out in front. We'll be back with more Emeralds baseball after these messages on 95.3 The Score. So as we head to the 9th inning, Bryce Tucker remains on here. He had scattered 4 base runners over his first 2 innings of work. 3 singles and a hit batter, but he's stranded them all. Now it'll be Frick, Shenton, and Polkovich, 2, 3, 4 in the order for the AquaSox, as they have been putting on an offensive display this week, outscoring the Emeralds 41-9 the last 4 games. The Ems did take game 1 quite handily, in fact, 9-3. The Emeralds won on Tuesday night, but the tide has shifted. Bryce Tucker twirls in one of those slow breaking balls at 68 miles an hour for a called strike, 0-1. Tucker comes set. And the 0-1 pitch, another curveball, another called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Patrick Frick, 2 for 4. That'll make it 2 for 5. Homered in the first inning, singled in the 5th. Tucker comes home. Another slow breaking ball, this one fouled away. So the count remains 0-2. Tucker, a deep breath, now delivers another 0-2 pitch, and he struck him out with a fastball right down the middle. So Tucker with 4 strikeouts now in 2 1/3 innings. And the batter is Austin Shenton. Shenton is 2 for 4. He had a big 3-run homer in the 5th inning. AquaSox have had 3 home runs in each of the last 2 games. Pitch here misses down low, ball 1. In fact, they've had 3 home runs in 3 straight games. Have the AquaSox. Here's the 1-0. That's driven out towards left field, but Heath Quinn had him played perfectly. Moves over 1 step to his left, reaches up and makes the grab. And Caden Polkovich will be the hitter with 2 down and the base is empty. Polkovich in the cleanup spot tonight. Has 3 base hits. He's also been hit by a pitch. Interesting here, Polkovich, a switch hitter. Takes a called strike here. He's standing in from the left side against the left-handed hitting Bryce Tucker. Oh, never mind. That's not Polkovich at all. That's Cody Gross, left-handed hitter. Polkovich listed at 5'10". Gross listed at 5'8". Kind of similar builds out there. So Everett goes to the bench here. And the 0-1. In for a called strike. 0-2 the count. It's kind of interesting that I don't know if Gross said something after that first pitch, or maybe the umpire realized, like I did, why is he batting from the left side as a switch hitter? But it didn't seem like Gross announced himself, or that home plate umpire Ray Patchen had realized that a pinch hitter had come up until after that first pitch. But in any event, he goes down swinging here on the 0-2 pitch. A couple more strikeouts for Bryce Tucker. He has tossed 3 scoreless innings in relief, but it might be a little too late as the Emeralds trail 13-1 here. Their last chance coming up in the bottom of the 9th. It'll be 2, 3, 4 in the order. Fitzgerald, Smith, and Roby when we return here on 95.3 The Score. Bottom of the 9th inning. Emeralds trailing big here as they have from the very beginning. The AquaSox put up 6 in the first, 3 in the third, 4 in the 5th. They have 13 runs, but they've only scored in 3 innings. So Tyler Fitzgerald will lead things off here. David Ellingson trying to close it out after they got not only an offensive barrage, but also a great start from George Kirby. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts. First pitch swinging. Tyler Fitzgerald doesn't get it, and it's 0-1. And the 0-1 delivery. Fastball at 93 from Ellingson. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ellingson to the plate. Check swing. He went around. Ellingson working quickly here, and he struck him out. Fitzgerald down swinging, 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Don't forget the Emeralds will be back in town after that 1-week trip up to Spokane. The Hillsboro Hops will be returning to town July 20th through the 25th. Get your tickets at emeraldsbaseball.com. First pitch here to Armani Smith, misses outside. Smith 0 for 3 tonight. Emeralds just 1 run on 4 hits. 1-0 pitch, and that's over the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Well, should the AquaSox be able to finish off this one with 2 outs to go and a 13-1 lead, the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. They would have taken 4 out of 5 in this series. They took 4 out of 5 the first time these two teams played up at Funco Field. So in a matchup of the teams who have kind of separated themselves as the top 2, the AquaSox have won 8 out of 10 against the Emeralds. 1-2 pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch hit out into center field. Coming in is Marlowe, and it'll hang up. And he makes the grab. 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Emeralds is Sean Roby, who has one of those 4 base hits. Roby doubled to lead off the 2nd inning, but he would not advance past second base. Sean Roby takes a fastball over the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Off-speed pitch, swung on and missed. And the Emeralds down to their final strike here. 0-2 delivery. Slider misses down and away. 1-2 the count. Ellingson coming into this one and thrown 3 innings against the Emeralds without allowing a run. And the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. So a couple of strikeouts here in the bottom of the 9th. Ellingson retires all 6 batters that he faced. And Everett, a dominant performance from start to finish. 13-1 the final. And they have made it 4 wins in a row here at PK Park since the Emeralds took the series opener. We'll take a quick break, but we'll come back with the Instaprint post-game show after these messages on 95.3 The Score.